I've been telling people for years that I was at a 9/11 pre-event in May of 2000, and I learned the grand plans of world domination by a secret society and the groups within it. Okay, and I don't know if anybody's been listening to me over the years or not, and you need to listen up to the videos that I've done. Okay, now the question is, besides all of that I know, okay, knowing those grand plans that I knew about 9/11 before it was going to happen, do I know of any other events? I knew of the insurrection. Okay, do I know of any plans, big ones coming? Possibly, but it's a little confusing as how it'll play out. Okay, so here is what I think is going to happen. Okay, from what I know. All right. Somewhere in the U.S., now this is a plan that's been in progress for a very long time with an enormous, enormous amount of money invested in it. Somewhere in the U.S. is planes, fighter jets with hardened equipment and military vehicles and equipment, all with the hardened electronics that will survive an EM attack. Okay, the planes have been stripped and repainted to look Russian, but they still have American gauges on the inside. Okay, somewhere in the U.S. Now the question is, and let's use some logic here. Who's going to fly the planes? That's my first question, right? Who had that kind of money? Where'd the planes come from? Who did they pay, which would have a facility big enough to strip all the planes, convert them, and repaint them? Where are they stored? Okay? That's part of the plan. The other part of it is, when Trump got in office the first time, he laxed dock security. Okay? And it is believed that shipping containers came in with nuclear warheads. You hear that? And somewhere they're stored. Okay? But the plan with the nuclear warheads is to put them near infrastructure. So you wipe out the power grid, right? Put them next to cities. So they have to knock out a power grid, knock out infrastructure, knock out water, sewer, electricity, gas, right? For long periods of time. Okay? Be put in strategic areas and used in a way so you will have no electricity by either an EM, from the EM, electromagnetic, okay, bomb, the structure, the boom, or it knocks out the infrastructure, one way or the other, or in both ways, okay? And they're put near cities. Cities that would do the most harm and the most good if you were the one doing this act, okay? So, with that said, they have to be stored somewhere, and then they have to be placed, okay, somehow in those areas. So they would have to be, what, in buildings and containers and the ground? Where would they put them? It's a thought, isn't it? Well, if somebody was doing construction, they could put them in the ground. Or if they controlled a cemetery, they could put them in the ground. A dump would be a darn good place to hide them. Think I'm wrong? Think about that. That's the best place to hide them. If a dump is an asset, they can dig out a large section of the dump, bury the containers with the nukes in it. Nobody would know. Dig them up later when they need them, place them in where they need them. Okay? Now, the question is, How would this work? Okay, Trump has ties with Russia and Putin, right? But how would that work? Help me figure this out, because this part I haven't been able to figure out. How would that work with Russia planes painted as Russian? Who's going to fly them? And how's this going to work? I can see using the nukes to knock out infrastructure, and for long periods of time, for like more than a year, a couple years, and then everybody's in frantic mode, and then a civil war breaks out, and you can't get food, you can't get water, you can't get gas. If it's during the winter, you're going to freeze to death. I can see that, mass casualties. This I can see. But I can't see where all the hardened equipment comes in play. I can see it come in play because of the nukes, but I can't foresee who's going to use that equipment and a way in which they're going to use it. Now, if there looks like there's a fake attack and all the bombs go off, I can see the military equipment going around with, I don't know, maybe there's Russians over here. I don't know, but I can't see the planes, how that fits in. Okay, so I'm probably going to have somebody knocking on my door. The government bitches at me all the time because they say, Lynn, you quit exposing national security secrets. You keep your mouth shut. They've been doing that to me ever since 2000. And in 21, they really got on my case. 2023, they really got on my case. In fact, I got emails and calls from the White House and the FBI in 2023 with Biden in office telling me to shut the hell up. It's a shame. If people would have listened to me, we wouldn't be in such a jam that we're in now. Before the election, I told Biden, I said, take Facebook down. I said, they're going to use it for propaganda to win the election. Wouldn't listen to me. Okay? Now, for those that don't know, you need to watch my other videos because, yes, I was involved in this 9/11 pre-event and know about all these grand plans. Yes, I was offered into the secret society, the very one that's behind all of this. I was offered mentorship in it, and I turned it down. That's not me. That's not me. That's not who I am. I grew up with relatives that fought for this country, and I believed in fighting for the country, not destroying it from within. So that was not me, not who I am. Okay? Now, everybody needs to listen because so much history has been covered up. Okay? When I was bitching about taking down Facebook, and I knew about what they were going to do, is because I am the one that created the intellectual work for Facebook. The secret society wanted my work. And I specifically wanted to make sure they didn't get control of it because in my intellectual work, I wrote that it could be used as the ultimate propaganda machine to overthrow a country, start wars, change opinions, the ultimate spy machine in history. Okay? And I didn't want him to have it. But Zuckerberg stayed at my home, stole my intellectual work, which was to create that social site, which originally going to be called My Journey, that was originally I created it to help a paralyzed friend, for they could bring the world to her, for she'd have fewer barriers, more opportunities. And it was supposed to fund free clinics, shelters, and help find a cure for neuromuscular diseases, for she could walk again. But after Mark ripped me off, and then he sold national security secrets that was also at my home too, that was in that portfolio. But then after Mark ripped me off, those secret societies thought, Mark got it! Let's help him get away with it! So he went back to Harvard bragging that he had it given to him. I'm not going to get into all that. So you just go watch the videos, okay? So the social network and all that was just fake. That's all fake, a cover-up to try to hide what happened, okay? But you need to get to know me. You really do, okay? And like I said, I tried to get the White House to help me take down Facebook before the election, and they wouldn't. Now, so many of you are on, ooh, Trump. But you're going to lose, you realize. It's not, unless you're the top one, you ain't the top 1%, are you? Well, if you ain't the top 1%, he ain't going to help you. You're going to be on a losing end, okay? So start paying attention, people. I'd like to see some comments on the bottom and people try to figure out how in the world these airplanes and the nukes are going to be used for the biggest false flag event in history that's going to collapse the United States. Try to figure it out. I'd be interested to hear that.